Is there one person that's not going to eat?
No.
But the worst part about Adam Carolla acting like everyone should be able to pull themselves up by his bootstraps is that he's a giant hypocrite and he took government loans out 5 years ago. Listen, everybody, I woke up in a mood to trash some celebrities today, which is no different than what I've been doing a lot lately, because it's fun. It's very fun to point out the hypocrisy of some of these celebrities. But today we're not just going after any celebrities. I think it's even worse when these D-list celebrities go out there, show their ass, show their hypocrisy, or just show that they overall suck. I want to start with Adam Carolla, at one point a comedian, but probably more so got famous with Dr. Drew on Loveline and their talk show and now their podcasts. Well, Adam Carolla had a lot to say over these past few weeks about government subsidies and especially food stamps, and God forbid people get help by the government.
You know, I was reading that SNAP's going to run out. Okay, listen to me, everybody. This whole thing of like 40 million people are going to go hungry. First off, those 40 million people average an extra 40 pounds on them. First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipients.
It's meal, food, what do they call it? Food insecurity. It's food insecurity.
It's food insecurity. Is there one person that's not going to eat?
No.
He and Dr. Drew do a lot of generalizing as if everyone's just getting hundreds of dollars in food stamps, as if nobody on the program actually needs it, as if the current economy is not in the shitter, as if we're not seeing that the job market is the worst since 2009. So yes, real people were hurt during the government shutdown and with programs going away and now just programs weakening in general. The generalizations don't really work. You could be mad at some people for maybe trying to scam the system, but most people on the programs are not doing that. But the worst part about Adam Carolla acting like everyone should be able to pull themselves up by his bootstraps is that he's a giant hypocrite and he took government loans out 5 years ago. He too, surprise, surprise, needed the government to help him out. But God forbid he attack regular people that need help. Oh, no, D-list celebrities are the only people that need help from the government. It's okay when he does it, but not when others do it. Adam is also a hypocrite because he actually grew up on food stamps and other government programs when he was a child, saying at one point, my mom was on welfare and the occasional food stamp, but I have never participated in any of those governmental programs, even the ones that kind of work like education, scholarships, and whatever. And I managed to do just fine, except when he was a kid, he was on those programs. So technically he did need those programs to grow up on, but he's also a hypocrite because he has taken loans out from the government. So it's always that kind of bullshit that makes me question these people and the hypocrisy that these celebrities always sit in. And I don't know what's going on with Dr. Drew's face. He looks rough himself. He's always worried about these other little things going on with health. He needs to look in the mirror because he's looking pretty rough these days. The other thing about Adam Carolla, though, and what he's been crashing out about over the past month, really, is about his wife, his ex-wife, who he had to pay a lot of money to in their divorce settlement. He's been ranting and raging on Twitter about the money his wife took from him. It's as if he's struggling financially himself with all of this whining and complaining he's doing about his ex-wife. The big point here is, why would people listen to a guy who wasn't smart enough to get a prenup when he got married talk about other people's finances and what they should or should not be worried about? Adam Carolla was already a celebrity when he got married in the early 2000s. He did not have the forethought to think maybe he should get a prenup. So now all this complaining about him going through financial issues after having to pay his ex-wife is just him. It's his own fault. He was dumb to not get a prenup, but now he wants to go around complaining about what other people should and shouldn't be worried about. Miserable D-list celebrity number one. And that's a transition to Jeff Lewis a one-time Bravo star who said some pretty controversial things at BravoCon over the weekend. And it's not the first time he has attacked this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City ex-star who was on for a season, Monica Garcia. He had words for Monica Garcia 2 years ago, calling her storyline on the show depressing because she wasn't this mega rich person on one of the Housewives franchises. He said that she might be relatable, but that's not why he watches Housewives. He doesn't watch the Real Housewives because they're relatable. He watches them for their extravagant lifestyles and that they live a life that most of us do not. Monica struck back at him 2 years ago at that time saying, first of all, I don't even know who that is. Honestly, I'm like, who's Jeff Lewis? When people told me that, I guess he had a show at one point. I don't know. I need to Google him. So she did the whole who's that thing. Well, 2 years later, I guess that was still sour grapes on his end because he decided to criticize her again at BravoCon this past week and once again bring up the fact that, oh no, her food stamps got taken away.
You've brought in women that maybe are not as affluent, and it felt like, I'm just curious why you deviated from that original, like Monica Garcia, for example.
I think the answer...
Didn't her food benefits just get frozen? It just wasn't the right fit, that I thought.
It's someone who's out of touch speaking on something that of course was going to put people in an uproar because people were actually struggling over the past month. The government was shut down. They didn't have programs. People were not getting paid for doing their jobs. These celebrities continue to be out of touch with what's actually going on in society. And so it's no surprise when they get called out for their bullshit. This was supposed to be Bravo returning Jeff Lewis to the spotlight. He's getting a new show, but they're fumbling right out of the gate. Jeff Lewis has been going through a lot in his personal life where he and his husband at one point adopted a child, but now his husband and his ex-boyfriend, his two exes, are now about to get married, and he's been having this custody battle over the kid. But in my opinion, Jeff Lewis has always been a miserable cunt, and I feel like that is what he is at the end of the day, and that's why he says controversial things. I've never watched any of his shows, but I've been around people on occasion that have been watching his show, and I don't know how anyone does stomach him, because he's clearly a miserable person, and he tries to take it out on everyone else. And it was good to see his joke not land at all. And speaking of jokes, that leads us to our last D-list celebrity for the day. Jeff Dye, a stand-up comedian, was doing the opposite of these other two celebrities we've talked about today. While the other celebrities were criticizing people for taking handouts from the government, even though some of them do that themselves, Jeff Dye was asking for money online. You see, Jeff Dye just appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast this past week, and he's one of those typical comedians that goes on that podcast and metaphorically sucks Joe Rogan's dick while he wants to move to Texas from LA, apparently. And his big idea was to ask for $26,000 so he can move to Texas and to post it on his social media. And when that blows up in his face, to later say it was only a joke. Yes, nothing says funny like a comedian begging for $26,000 on social media, on GoFundMe, when currently there are people in society that truly need $26,000 for medical reasons or for much bigger reasons than because you want to move from LA to Texas because you think people can't take jokes anymore. And then you get on social media and cry about things when your jokes don't land. Although I'm still questioning if this was actually a joke or not. I think he really thought he was going to be able to grift and get some right-wingers that love grifters to give him money, but it didn't work. He only got $75 at one point, and that was it. And then he shut it down because he was getting embarrassed on social media. So these comedians continue to make themselves be the joke, and these other D-list celebrities are just hypocrites, dumbasses, and really shouldn't be on television anymore in Jeff Lewis's case. And the reason I like to bring this stuff up from time to time is because even though some of these celebrities have these hardcore stands that I don't think I could ever change their opinion, like the Joe Rogan stands who have the IQs in the negatives, but if you're standing a D-list celebrity, I would like to think I could chip away at standing people like that. So my goal is always to chip away a little at a time some of this celebrity culture, some of this standing that gets out of control.